Good morning. Malamaliki Maka. Merry Christmas.
Now say Happy New Year.
Janice can do Happy New Year.
Yeah, there.
Yes. Yeah. That's right. All right. Christmas is 1 week away. Ooh. Everybody all ready? All. No? Good. 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 Yeah, we're all done, wrapped. Thank you, Janice. So I know. Why? What's... And Janice knows better. I can wrap, but it's better for everybody else if I don't. So she wraps the gifts now. So she used to let me help, but doesn't let me touch them now. So.
Oh, I thought it was type of...
Yeah, it lets me buy. So. Yeah. Every Sunday morning we have Qigong in the back and Course in Miracles, 1 o'clock today. No?
Not until January.
Okay. Is this wrong on here then?
Yes.
Must be. Okay.
It's not right.
Okay. And that's, well, I was just going to ask you about that. So that was next. So is that wrong or just you changed? Okay. So if you're looking at your calendar, ignore today and tomorrow. And we're not positive about the drum circle, are we? So we're not even sure about 19th on the drum circle.
I didn't find out about Course in Miracles until after I'd already copied the calendar.
No big deal. It's fine.
Okay. This happens.
It's fine. Yeah. And on Thursday, no ARE. Remember, no ARE on Thursday. Thursday, no ARE. ARE, no. ARE, no. ARE, no. So, Friday is the sacred giveaway. Well, that's why Janice is coming up here right now. We were prepared for this question.
Speak for yourself. The sacred giveaway is a very sacred process that I've had the blessing of participating in several times before, and I want to share with you what that process looks like. So I think it was last Sunday or the Sunday before, I told you the sweater story. Let me tell you a different story, a different giveaway. I think there was like 20 of us, and everybody brought something. And the process of figuring out what to bring is this is not a dollar store item. This is something you already have that's ready to go to their new owner. Maybe you just don't need it anymore or whatever. You'll go through your house or just start asking, what of my things is ready to be released and go to bless someone else?
I'll take old Volkswagens.
Yes, I'm sure you would. Be careful what you ask for. You cannot have any more in our driveway, dear. So I'm nixing that one here. So, as a matter of fact, I was in the house the other day and I was going through some stuff, thinking, well, is there anything here that? And I heard a call from the other room, and I thought, oh no, that can't be. No. Sure enough, I thought, no, it's really not. So I didn't do anything with it. Sure enough, next day, had the same call of that same item was ready to be released. So I think it's kind of like, I don't know. But apparently, this is not about me. It's about the item and the item choosing itself and the item being ready to go.
I wasn't in that other room, was I?
No.
Just checking.
I'm not letting you go.
Just checking.
So listen with your heart. Listen to what might be calling you that's ready to go to a new home to be a blessing to someone else. Maybe it was a blessing to you. Maybe somebody gave it to you and you feel loyal to it because it was a gift. But maybe it's ready to be a gift to someone else. So listen to that. So anyway, we went to this giveaway ceremony. Everybody's giving stuff, and there were several amazing stories about that particular one. But in this one, the one I want to tell you today, there was this gentleman, and he looked sad. He just had it was a workshop, all-day workshop, and then the giveaway ceremony was the final concluding ceremony. And he just looked sad the whole workshop. And so as things were laid out, he ended up getting the last number, the last choice. And what was left after everybody picked something off this blanket, the sacred blanket, was an old, beat up, battered tarot deck. And he went and he picked that up, and we were all thinking, oh gosh, he got the worst gift of all. Nobody wanted that one. And so then we start around at the beginning, and the first person says, well, why did you want that, and how does that mean for you? And there's profound stories through all of it. So we get to this guy, and we're all feeling kind of sorry for him. Bursts into tears, and he said, 10 years ago, I threw away my tarot deck. It was the exact same tarot deck. It was worn exactly the same. And I decided yesterday that I was going to pick back up my intuition and work with it again. This is a total sign from Spirit that I'm doing the right thing and that it is the right thing for me, and this is exactly what my soul needed. So don't judge. Just listen and respond. And so this is Friday evening. Bring your gift, bring your sacred, don't wrap it. We're going to lay it out probably on the drum and another table or two. And then you'll be given a number. And in order of arrival, then you're going to be given an opportunity to pick something from the table. And it'll be something that will bless your soul. So just, if you don't bring an item, you won't participate. You can watch. But only if you bring an item will you be given a ticket to be able to receive an item. So it's a very sacred Native American process. So if you have any other questions about that, feel free to ask me after services.
What's the art and soul?
That's the draw and paint and color and
Oh, okay.
stuff.
Art and soul, the next day, Saturday.
Are you doing that, Sarah?
Okay.
Do you have anything you want to say about that?
So you bring your own creativity. So,
Wait. Have the microphone a little trouble.
Yeah, so you bring your own creativity. So several of us color. What else were people doing? Some beautiful embroidery work. Whatever you'd like to do. We just ask that it not be stinky and smelly. And we just come and gather and do a little bit of show and tell, but mainly it's just to sit together and kind of get creative in company.
Thank you. Cool. All right. T-shirts, sweatshirts. I was drinking at a bar, so I took a bus home. That may not seem like a big deal to you, but I've never driven a bus before. This beer tastes like no work tomorrow. Grumpy old man, founding member, only happy when complaining. You've seen the evolution with the ape bending over and the bigger ape and the lion and everything. And this one's got that line, but then it's got a seemingly human being turning, going the other way, say, go back, we screwed everything up. Respect your elders, they graduated school without the internet.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. I've decided I'm not old, I'm 25 plus shipping and handling. And we do have a couple of patron saints by the name of George Carlin and John Lennon. And John said, as breathing is my life, to stop I dare not. I know you have to, okay, I get it. And George, the more I think about this is actually kind of a cool blessing, actually. May the forces of evil become confused on the way to your house. May the forces of, may the forces of evil become confused on the way to your house. I like it. The wrong one? That works for me, though. Okay. Self-respect is the root of discipline. The sense of dignity grows with the ability to say no to oneself. The greatest mistake you can make in life is to be continually fearing you will make one. And our names are labels plainly printed on the bottled essence of our past behavior. Karn. The way to get things done is not to mind who gets the credit for doing them. So. And yes, there's a reason I have this hat on it actually, but it... Okay. The Iron Curtain. The phrase was first used by Winston Churchill in a foreign affairs debate shortly after the Potsdam Conference in 1945. He described the difficulty of obtaining any reliable information about what was happening in Eastern Europe because of the Iron Curtain, which had divided the continent. He used the phrase again a few months later in 1946 in his famous speech at Fulton, Missouri, when, with the President of the United States and audience, he urged Anglo-American solidarity against the new danger arising from Soviet domination of Eastern Europe. So, and that, remember when the Berlin Wall came tumbling down, that even surprised, I mean, I was paying a little bit of attention to that whole thing, but that still was a huge surprise, and a wonderful one at that. So, and I'm going to do this one now because I think next week would just not be the appropriate time to do it. It's about Christmas. And, you know, I mean, obviously we're Christian and we, celebrate for all the right reasons. And as some of you know, that holiday is kind of nobody really knew the timing of anything. So they kind of threw it all together for differing reasons. And this is some of the actual data on that. There's no record date of Christ's birth. Christmas became an official holiday in AD 320. Pope Julius I chose December 25th in an effort to absorb the customs of the pagan festival Saturnalia, an extended hedonist holiday marking the winter solstice, during which the normal Roman social order was turned upside down. So it was a timely thing to do and very appropriate. I think it's been cool ever since. So, but actually, you're going to be talking about a little bit of that either this weekend or next weekend, are you not? 'Tis the season. So, okay. An elderly couple had dinner at a couple's house, and after eating, the wives left the table and went to the kitchen. The two gentlemen were talking, and one said last night that they had gone out to a new restaurant, and it was really great. I would recommend it highly. The other man said, well, what's the name of the restaurant? The first man thought, and finally said, well, what's the name of that flower you give to someone you love? You know, the one that's red and has thorns. He says, do you mean a rose? And he goes, yep, that's the one, replied the man. He then turned toward the kitchen and said, hey, Rose, what's the name of the restaurant we went to last night? Okay. Very sad, very sad. I know.
How about let's have some fun? I'm going to set this up. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So, if you have your camera, that's disturbing. So, we're going to sing a song this morning that I've played for you before, but it had the lyric video, which is really a stupid, dumb video. I didn't like the video, but I wanted you to get the words first. This time doesn't have the words, but it's the video of it. And there's going to be a part where there's just a little bit of a pause, and then the audience has their cameras out with the light on it. I want you to do the same. I want us to do, so if you got your phone that has a light feature on it, sometimes if you just turn anything, a light, some sort of light, you'll see when it's time. So sing along, it'll be fun. I don't think there's any other instructions.
Are we going to get anybody to take a picture of people doing that, like from the front maybe?
Do you want to just scan? No, well, you can't because of the thing. I don't know. I didn't think that far
I know.
ahead.
I just throw it out there.
If anybody wants to take a picture, anybody up on the front that has a camera want to take a picture of everybody, that'd be just awesome. Or in the back, who cares? I don't care. Figure that out. Foo, I say. We're going to be okay. It's all going to be okay. And I love the fact that everybody had their lights. It was really fun. Thank you for participating in that. Let's talk about bringing in the light. Hanukkah is happening now. I think got a few more days on Hanukkah. Say what? Day 6 of Hanukkah. The story of Hanukkah, just briefly, is the Jewish people were under siege, and they lit the menorah, and they had just enough oil for one day, and then that would be it. As a sign from God, the candle stayed lit for days and days and days. And this was their sign that they were going to survive, they were going to be fine, and they were going to win, and they did. So this is about bringing in the light, and the light being sustained by a divine source. When I was pondering for this message for you, I had a very, very cool visionary experience. And I want to walk you through a guided meditation about that. Because I think bringing light into the darkness is really, really important. That's what you came here for. That's what you came here for. And maybe the darkness isn't very dark. And maybe it's really dark in your world. Maybe it's dark right now. Maybe it wasn't dark yesterday. You know, sometimes things tend to be shifting. And sometimes we have good days and sometimes we have bad days. And sometimes the worries of the world wear us down terribly, and sometimes they don't. The key for us is to be the light always, and to bring more light into a situation. I think it interesting, the Good Book talks about that. Jesus, as a matter of fact, said, "You're the light of the world." Matthew chapter 5:14. You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. Nor do men light a lamp and put it under the peck measure, under a bushel barrel. Don't put it under a bushel. But on a lampstand. And it gives light to all who are in the house. So it doesn't matter if somebody else is being in a bad mood. Be the light. What does that mean? In Ephesians chapter 5, verse 8, it says, "For you formerly of darkness, but now you are light in the Lord. Walk as children of light." Children of light. Isn't that beautiful? And the fruit of the light consists of all goodness and righteousness and truth. Interesting thing, whenever we're working on truth, situation with truth, truth is energetically neutral. Doesn't have an energetic charge to it. So if you're telling somebody your truth, and you're mad, or I'm mad, that's not really truth. That's my judgment of it, or my feeling on it, or my twist on it. Truth is this neutral, is neutrality. And when we get in that place of neutrality, light expands. We've talked about this before. When you turn a light switch on in a room, darkness cannot exist. It cannot. Darkness must vanish. It is a law, a universal law, a universal truth. It cannot exist. So if you shine, darkness cannot exist. Now, if there's a big shadow somewhere, it needs more light. And you might need to bring in a buddy to bring in more light to that situation. And you can call on others to assist you with that. But you're a light, and you bring light to whatever situation you're in. And just like the menorah was sustained by divine energy for days, you are sustained by divine energy. If somebody else is in a bad mood or some situation happens, you can shift into light and stay there. You do not have to be overwhelmed by darkness. It cannot reach you if you're shining in light. It cannot reach you. If you turn on a light switch, the darkness vanishes. It has to. It must. That's the nature of it. Cannot exist where you have that illumination. Have you seen that thing on YouTube where you have a candle and the little flame is lit and you can shine a light on the candle and the candlestick will have a shadow, but the light, the flame, does not have a shadow? There's no shadow. It does not even create a shadow. You cannot create a shadow when there's light. Be the light. Be goodness, righteousness, and truth. Goodness, do the right thing. Righteousness is right wiseness. Do what's wise. And it's really important to let go of trying to be right. That's not righteousness. It's trying to be right. It's about being in this neutrality where light can expand. Doesn't matter if the other person's wrong. Why do you have to rain on the parade? Just be the light. Now, if they're saying, well, it's 60 degrees outside, I'm going to go outside in short sleeves, and it's below zero, you might want to, share some information for that person so they get the true information, the truth. But that doesn't require any sort of humiliating or shaming or blaming. We don't respond to that. That's not love and light. So be the light. There's more to being the light than just being right. And I think that's where a lot of religions get hung up. Our way is the right way, the only way. I like the Native American tradition where it says we're doing it in a good way. If it's a good way, it's a good way. And why does my way have to be better than your way? My way or the highway? Well, I see no point in that. Because if it's my way or the highway, I'm not walking the highway, not taking the high road. I'm walking the low road. Got friends, low places. Be the light. That seems so hard, doesn't it? Because we get burnt out. Have you ever been burnt out? It's the holiday season. It's time. This is when we get burnt out. There's dark skies around us. There's frantic energy. We're trying to do way more than we can do, and we get burnt out. And people are cranky. And so we're trying to relate to people that are cranky, and it's really hard to stay the light. Well, guess what? If we're not plugged into the light source, yes, we're going to burn out. How do we plug in? How do we reconnect and get that light flowing in, that ever-flowing energy source that will keep us burning brightly? Well, there's lots of ways to do that. There's no right way to do that. What works for you? And be brave. Try something new. Maybe what used to work for you isn't working for you anymore. You get to try something new. Do something different. I've been doing something different. I've been doing music. I love silence. When I'm at home, silence. I love that. I can think. I think a lot. And it's really nice to have silence so that the brain can do what the brain does. But music has this lovely element of taking me out of thinking
and to just being. What a concept. I'm doing something new. If I can do something new, you can do something new. Do something you haven't done. If you do music all the time, do silence. Try that. Oh, I can't stand it. It might get in my head too much. Breathe into your heart space. Maybe your brain is wanting you to think about something that you're not wanting to think about, so you clutter it up with other stuff. Like worry. Worry's a big light killer, is it not? But the brain can do other things. And the brain is this wonderful power tool we can use when it's activated by the heart. And the heart says, here's what I need to know. Here's what's interesting to me. I wonder. So I get in this heart space and I go, I wonder about this. And then the brain goes, let's process that information. Let's read this book. Let's look at that information over here. And it's amazing the connections that get made. Be in your heart space. What does your heart want? And then your brain will process that data rather than going to worry and fear and shame and blame. That's its normal default setting. Not fun, light killer. But if we can go into this heart space and have a plan, have a directive, then the brain goes, oh yeah, okay, how do I do that? Brain loves to give you information. Brain loves to search. Brain loves to scan. And here's what's really cool. The brain has this electrical energy that if you put yourself on a scan mode, you will find. Seek and ye shall find. Remember that one? Really cool. I've told you the story before where I thought, I really need one of those little small rebounders, the little trampoline things, personal things. I really need. Went to a yard sale. Bingo, there's one. I better get that. Went to another yard sale. There's another one. I could give this one to my friend. I'll give that one to my friend. Another yard sale. There was another one. And I said, so you've got your rebounder out here? She says, yeah. About 5 minutes ago, I was walking through my house and saw that and thought, I really need to put that out there. Somebody needs that. I bought that one too. One went to my mother, one went to my friend, and I kept the other. So when your heart is saying, it would be really good for me to have a rebounder, I think that would really be helpful for my health. The brain goes, okay, we're on search mode. And it searches for it, okay? At the same time, it's sending out a blast of energy that says, alert, 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 rebounder, time to get it going, let it go, it's being sought for. And there it is. How many people want abundance in your life? Get in your heart space. Instead of worrying about poverty, get in your heart space and you I wonder what abundance would look like. Bam! Stuff happens. In the new year, I've got a whole list of things I want to talk to us about. Manifesting abundance is one of those things. So stay tuned for the next year. It's going to be really interesting. But get in your heart space. This is where the light begins to emanate. And when you're in your heart space, then the world responds and brings it to you. And then you're refreshed. A lot of times we do for others because it's our habituated pattern and we think it's expected of us. Rather than doing from our heart space because it's what they need or what's important for them. Oh, I have to make 40,000 cookies. No, you don't. Everybody needs them, everybody expects them every Christmas. Do they? I like cookies. Maybe I'll make some cookies for me. Okay, there you go, whatever. But all these expectations that we have on ourselves about how it should be and then how they should respond to us. And they don't. Because our expectations are imaginary. And they'll leave us cold every time. But if we're in this state of light, which is goodness, doing good things, right wiseness, doing wisely the correct thing, what we know to be correct in the moment, and living in truth, this neutrality, this empty, easy, neutral energy that's not energetically charged with oughta, gotta, should, must, have to, always, and never. When we have those emotional charges on things, that's when the light gets diminished and we miss out. So we're wanting to bring the light back into our lives, and we're wanting to recharge our batteries. Can't wait to share this with you. So we're going to jump into this really quick. So what I experienced was phenomenal, just phenomenal. Let me tell you about it first, and then we'll walk you through it. So I found myself in this structure, and I asked, what the structure was, and I got back, well, it could be a cathedral. It could be a barn. There was a third thing. What else could it be? Oh, like a lodge house, like a Native American lodge house. Could be that. So I didn't really get a clear answer. So you get to pick whatever structure you want, but it was a big room, bigger than this, massive room, like a gymnasium, that size. And there were candles everywhere, row upon row upon row. It was just stacked up with all these candles, and they were all flickering. And then I looked at them more closely, and instead of a candlestick, it was a pillar of light. And instead of a flame, it was light again, but it wasn't burning. It was a little, looked like a little flame of light, but without burning. And it was everything from white to black, from the lightest sky blue to the deepest indigo, the freshest spring green, all the way to the deep forest green, light orange, all the way to the burnt orange range. It was every color you can imagine. And then there was a whole nother batch of them that was, the candle was one color and the flame was another. It was amazing, just amazing. And as I was seeing all of this, a candle came to me. And it kind of like hovered in front of me. And it had a color, the candle the pillar had a color, and the flame had a color, and it was just right for me. And I could absorb energy from this. And it just fed me all this energy. I could feel it going to every cell of my body. So I'm going to walk you through a guided meditation where we can go into this same kind of structure and where you can see what flame is brought for you, what flame is bestowed to you. We'll let it recharge your batteries, recharge you. And then when we come out of that, there's a couple of other little steps along the way. And then when we come out of that, then the color of the flame and the color of the candle may have significance for you. So we can talk about that as well. So are you ready for this guided meditation? All right.